Well, in Georgia, the 2Gen project is about really utilizing the strengths that we have as a state in our state agencies. So we've taken a very different approach from many other states in our 2Gen work by bringing together our higher education and workforce agencies and then DECAL, which is our early learning agency. In Georgia, our technical college system and our university system, they are very successful in educating students. They have a high placement rate, a job placement rate after students complete their degree. We also have around the state workforce investment boards that are always working with individuals trying to get back into the workforce. And then we also have the opportunity with our child care subsidy program, which allows low-income working families or families that are going to school trying to earn an additional credential or degree opportunity to help pay for child care. And so by bringing all of those groups together, our 2Gen work is about connecting early childhood and higher education and workforce needs in Georgia. So the 2Gen project in Georgia actually began even before the announcement was made by NGA and CLAS that there would be an opportunity, because I was actually contacted by NGA to kind of give some feedback as a state agency leader on what would make it appealing to you to apply for such a grant. Of course, I didn't know the details, but I just knew it would be based around 2-generation work. And that was kind of a new word to us in Georgia. We've probably all been doing it a little bit here and there, but no, we've never called it 2-generation work. So it definitely began with that first phone call, and our thoughts started rolling about what would that look like in Georgia and how could we be most successful with the systems that we do have already in place. And so of course it began with that, and then it began with the actual grant opportunity and thinking about how do we use our strengths and our opportunities to write a plan that would work well for Georgia, and it would also support what our governor has been doing. So Governor Deal's biggest legacy is probably criminal justice reform. He's been recognized nationally for his work on criminal justice reform, and it's all about really giving individuals a second chance. He talks about ending that cycle of incarceration, and when I think about the 2-generation work, what we're trying to do is end that cycle of poverty and help families with the adult and the child be successful and become self-sufficient and economically stable. So I think the 2-generation work really mirrors and complements the work of Governor Deal and his criminal justice reform. He's also been focused on Complete College Georgia because we know that we need a more educated workforce in the future, and we just don't have that right now. So there's been a big focus on how do we support non-traditional students, and many of those non-traditional students, you know, they're not right out of high school, they're coming back after maybe for a second career or maybe after they've lost a job and they need a new skill or a new credential or a new degree. And a lot of times those non-traditional students have children, and so they're student parents. And so we knew that working with these non-traditional students through our technical college system and our university system, that we could support them through our subsidy program, which again is our child care subsidy program that helps pay for child care. So that's kind of how it started. It's definitely evolved by bringing a group of leaders around a table on a specific topic, which is 2Gen work, and it's continuing to evolve.
So the history of the project probably started though before we actually won a grant to do it. In early childhood education, we've been talking about family engagement for a long time, but a lot of times that has been about how do we help parents or families be more effective at being a parent? How do we help them be their child's first and most important teacher? This project kind of changes that focus a little bit. It's still about how do we help families achieve the success they want to achieve, but how do we help parents be successful in their own right? How do we help them achieve the outcomes they want for themselves? Yes, there's definitely a secondary benefit to their children, but it's also about helping them achieve the goals that they want. So we've been working on it for a long time, just with a little bit of a different spin. So Georgia's 2Gen work, or 2-generation work, really started when the National Governors Association and the Center for Law and Social Policy, or CLASP, issued a grant opportunity that they called PACT. PACT stands for Parents and Children Thriving Together, PACTT. So Parents and Children Thriving Together was this idea of how could states bring a whole family approach to their work. We usually have state agencies that focus on children, like the Department of Early Care and Learning, and agencies that focus on adults, the technical college system, the university system, the Department of Economic Development. What would it look like if we worked together and thought about how we're actually all serving families, the adults and parents and the children together? PACT. The other thing that's important for our 2-gen work in Georgia is that this started very much from the governor's office and with state agency leadership saying, how could we see more success for children? How could we see more success for the adults in their lives? And so it was very much a story about state systems change. What I'm excited about now is that we're actually beginning to see the change at the local level through community partnerships with 3 pilot sites where we're asking them, what would it actually look like in Athens? What would it actually look like in Macon? What would it look like in Clayton County for us to be really intentional about supporting student parents? What would it really look like to make sure that parents whose children are in a quality grade subsidy grant or in Head Start really know how to get their GED or how to access workforce training? It's great if we can all sing Kumbaya at the state level, but if we can actually change the resources that families have access to and change the way they take advantage of them, then we've just been talking to ourselves. So I'm really excited now that we're beginning to see local communities adopt this, bring unlikely partners to the table to really think about how we make this happen for children and families in Georgia, not in a theoretical sense, but in an actual sense that I believe will lead to better outcomes for both.
Well, here at Clayton State University, we have been wrestling with what we perceived as being the need of our student parents on campus. That it was our perspective that often student parents, when they come to our classes, when they come into our learning spaces, are actually extremely motivated to succeed. The fact that their parents sometimes adds a special fire to their quest to complete a degree, but it also complicates things. It makes life busier. It makes life have more balls in the air. And so it was our observation that student parents frequently were just stretched really, really thin. They were trying to piece together ways to be engaged, successful students while attending to the primary responsibility of being a parent, and that sometimes this left them stretched too thin. So for many years now, we've been trying to think of ways that we could potentially fuel their academic success here at Clayton State University by helping them be successful as parents too. And for the past, I guess it's been going on 2 years now, we have been incredibly fortunate to be part of an initiative in the state called the Boost program. And this is funded by Quality Care for Children, and it basically provides child care subsidies for low-income student parents so that they can utilize quality-rated child care for their children and have a little bit more time in their day to focus on being a student. So we have been utilizing this strategy, and even though, as I said, we've been doing this for about 2 years, we still kind of feel like we're learning how to do this and kind of collecting data on looking at the efficacy of the program. But we already see positive gains in terms of how many courses our students are carrying on a semester by semester basis. We've seen increases in their GPA. We anticipate observing increases in graduation rates, and that's really the ultimate goal in terms of allowing low-income student parents to get that 4-year degree, to get that bachelor's degree that really allows them to fully engage in the labor market, that the need for a 4-year degree in the educational or in the labor market is really, really clear at this point in time, and especially in terms of data, in terms of the state of Georgia as far as economic development and where our workforce is going. In order for people to be upwardly mobile and have economic stability, it really requires that level of additional higher education training. And so we want to fuel that for our low-income student parents by helping to provide these child care subsidies.
Personally, what it means to me is it's an opportunity for education has been the main focus for me. In my later teen, early adulthood, it's very important. And with my daughter, I want to give her the best opportunity possible. Granted, of course, I think every mom kind of wants to stay at home with their baby the first year and spend as much time as you can with your kid. But the reality of it is I still have to go to work. I still have bills to pay. So this program was an opportunity for me to do that, you know, because childcare is expensive, outrageously expensive. It's about $600 a month to send her to daycare. So with this program, for me, it's like I can ensure that she gets the best care possible without trying to break my back going to work and never seeing her, you know, to provide that for her.
I've had the experience of being able to work firsthand with students at a technical college in Georgia in the South, and I've witnessed people who are determined. They know exactly what they need to do. They know exactly the career that is right for them and their family, and they're enrolled in the program, and they can't make it because they can't get to college. They don't have the transportation to get there, or they've got a child that there's nobody that can take care of them while they're in the college, in class. As a college administrator, we've had to actually put our foot down, and students can't bring their kids to class, can't bring them to the labs. And for no other, I mean, the primary issue there is safety. It's dangerous for that child, it's dangerous for the other students, it's a distraction. Other students are trying to focus, the parent is trying to focus, and if they're always having to look back to make sure the kid's not doing something, it's just dangerous, you can't do it. And then if they have no other means to take care of that child, they drop out, and that's a crime of the society. I mean, we can't allow that to happen, especially when the state already has all these agencies that can provide these services. So what it means to me is it's enabling each and every one of the agencies, it being 2GEN, is enabling each and every one of those agencies that are providing services to people of Georgia. It enables them to actually do it and actually make a difference. So it's the right answer, it's the right thing to do, and that's why we need to do it.
What does 2GEN personally mean to me? It means parent engagement for some reason. That's what I think of when I hear 2GEN. I think of, so we're at our school, and I tell parents all the time, if you're looking for us to sit down and just drill your kids, write A, B, C, D, E, F, G on a paper 50 times, that is not us. But if you are willing to partner with little ones, if you're willing to partner with our school, and come and volunteer, come be engaged, let's do community work together, this is the place for you. So 2Generation, I feel that's what we do here already. I did not know that's what we were doing for 25 years. So it's wonderful that there's a name for it, because we do focus on that.
And implemented properly means, or what it looks like to me, is all the different agencies, DeKalb, Technical College System of Georgia, University System of Georgia, Vocational Rehabilitation, Georgia Department of Labor, all of those agencies regularly communicating with each other, so that not in an onerous way where we're just meeting to meet, but really communicating so that I know that if I have a student that shows up in front of me, I'm a registrar at one of the technical colleges, and I have a student that shows up and says, I need to go here and need this program, and they meet all the requirements to get into the college, but they're holding their baby in their hand when they're talking to me. I know that I can say, do you have a means to take care of your child while you're in college? Do you have a way to get to and from your home or to and from your current work to get to the college? Do you have all those things? And if the answer is, well, no, I've got to figure that out, I got a person to help you with the child, I got a person to help you with transportation, or we've already previously worked out with transportation somehow that we can give them vouchers for bus rides, and MARTA can get them around, or wherever they are in the state, whatever kind of transportation is available. A lot of colleges have been able to enable students to carpool together, and that way the burden is not on you to drive every single day. You're sharing that with people. So rather than the student having to figure it out, or the individual having to figure out all these different agencies, they show up at any one of those agencies looking for services. That agency will provide that service and then find out, do they need anything else? And then refer them to the right place, so that then everything just falls into place for them. Because the people who need the services most are the least capable of finding them and accessing them. So that to me is what it looks like, is wherever a person enters in the state of Georgia, they can have access, and it's immediately available to them, all the different services that they could use and need to get forward.
Successful implementation only comes from collaboration. We have got to stop working in silos. I'm a child care provider. I'm a resource person. I do the house. We have to start working in cross collaboration. So successful implementation, we can each do our things well alone. But if we can't collaborate and cross-reference, cross-pollinate, if you will, then it really is meaningless. It's like I tell people all the time, you have plenty of kids that are super smart, but they can't play well together. So we have to bridge the gap of using everyone's talents, everyone's skills, every organization's skills to make 2Gen something that's really beneficial to everyone.
You know, I think in Georgia, one of the things we benefited from in kicking this work off is that our friends and partners in higher education and in workforce development knew that access to childcare was a barrier for the adults that they were trying to see achieve their goals. The thing I think we've been able to provide by being a partner at the Department of Early Care and Learning is also the focus on quality. And quality childcare and quality early learning is what truly makes this a 2Gen approach. It's not just about children having childcare so that their parents can go to work and go to school and achieve their adult focus goals, but it's about the children having access to quality early learning that allows them to be set on that trajectory that we know leads to lifelong success. Yes, we're also providing childcare. We are providing care for children so that parents can do what they need to do. But we also can assure through things like quality rated and making sure that programs are going above and beyond those basic licensing standards and implementing practices that we know lead to optimum early childhood development and growth, that we are going to see better outcomes for both. Not just outcomes so the parents can finish their degree or finish their training program or start a new job while their children are cared for, but while those parents are achieving their goals, that we're also helping young children be most likely to be ready for school.
So we're very proud to be a quality rated center. That basically means that we've gone above and beyond what is required of us. We've worked really, really, really hard. And I wish I could say it's something that comes from the top down. Some of it is, but most of it comes from that interaction that's happening in these classrooms. So I can have all the ideas and, you know, have these policies in place, but if it is not implemented, it's not going anywhere. So who gets the credit for being a quality rated center? It's absolutely the teachers. So that is so critical for centers to have the right manpower, or no, that's not politically correct, to have the right talent pool working with children. It is not about being perfect. A lot of people think, oh, I'm in a quality rated center, that means my child is going to always, never have a bruise or get hurt. That is not what quality rated is. We are committed to quality. We are good. And there's lots and lots of centers out here that are doing the exact same thing that we're doing here. And we're all committed to quality.
I think 2Gen work is important because for too long, we pretended like children could somehow be extracted from the family unit, that we didn't need to think about families holistically. I think 2Gen work is important because it brings those pieces of literature together. It brings those pieces of scientific literature together in a way that really exponentially increases the impact of services. High quality childcare is great for kids. We have a ton of data that indicates that. But if kids are going to a high quality childcare facility, but then going home to a family context in which parents are struggling and stressed and stretched, the positive impact of that high quality childcare is completely diluted, so that it really allows us to maximally utilize the benefits of these other services and programs by bringing them together.
Well, I think it'll continue to evolve. We're just at that very first step, and this has been a great opportunity to have dedicated space to talk about what 2Gen really means in Georgia. So I think it will continue to evolve. I think relationships will continue to be built not only at the state level, but at the community level, making those connections so that our agencies and our resources are working together. And so I think that will continue. I think there's a lot of work to be done around 2Generation in Georgia, but this is a great first step, and we've got great momentum in which to build upon.
I've learned that although there are few, there are good people out there that actually do care, that really do want to help. And it makes all the world a difference just to know that you've got that one group of people or that one class of people in your corner that's rooting for you. And in some of the meetings that we've had with some of the other participants in the program, I've also been humbled because I realized my situation is not as bad as I thought it was. So it's a reminder to stay humble, and it's a reminder that it's okay to ask for help. I think that this should be nationwide. I think that there is a mother or a father somewhere that needs this program, that battles back and forth with whether I'm going to go to work today or I'm going to watch my kid, or is probably on their last point at work because they've taken off so much time because they don't have a sitter. So I definitely feel like we should get as much support as we can to try to promote this everywhere.
I feel like we need a brand. I think we need like a logo, and I'd love to wear t-shirts that say 2Gen, and just like you see some other other logos that are easily recognizable. I would love to have that happen. I would love to also bring in more community partners. I know this is our first year in Clayton County, so as it builds and it grows, I would love to have more partners, more partnerships. I would love to have a place where it is a 2Gen place, because right now we are a roving type of thing. So I'm not sure if community center is the word that I'm thinking of, but I have some ideas.
The way I see it is, when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, I was terrified. I was a temp at my job. I lived with my parents. My car was a piece of crap. Everything in my life was completely unstable. The one thing that I knew for a fact that I wanted to do was go to school. I said, if I go to school and I get my education, I know at some point it's going to pan out. I'm going to get a career. Things are going to take off. It's got to look up. From the time I had my daughter, I got a new car. I have a permanent job. I've been there for a year now. And I'm getting ready to graduate. I've never been more motivated about life ever. I've never wanted something so bad in my entire life. So if you want to go and you know that that is your dream and that is the seed that is planted inside of you, go. Your children are not going to be upset with you for going and bettering yourself, because if you're bettering yourself, then that makes you a better parent for them. And that is my mission every day that I wake up, is to be a better me so that I can mold her to be the best her that she can be.